Hi, this is Mash Rundown. If you enjoy movie reviews and trailer reactions, well, you're at the right place. Why not subscribe and hit the like button down below?
On this Throwback Thursday, we're going to be reviewing The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring 2 is a 2016 supernatural horror film directed by James Wan. Patrick Wilson reprises his role as Ed Warren, and Vera Farmiga is again Lorraine Warren.
The Conjuring 2 follows the first movie's premise because we follow Ed and Lorraine, but this time they're traveling to England to help a family that seems to be plagued by a malevolent supernatural entity. The good. I really feel like the Warrens were the highlight of the show. Their acting and their presence made such a big difference to the movie because I was pretty much bored before the movie started to focus on them.
Yeah. And I think also the chemistry the two actors have, it almost makes the horror a romantic movie in many senses.
Yeah, in certain scenes especially.
Yes. He sings to her, and you can see, although he's singing to kids, he's singing to her. The lengths they go to save each other. But there's a very strong connection there that's actually really cool to see on the screen.
Even their whole motive for what they do and how they met each other is actually really romantic and,
Yes.
you know, finding that one person that understands you and believes in you.
So it's weird to say a horror movie is probably one of the best romances we've seen in a while. What I also liked in The Conjuring is the people weren't stupid. Like, I always watch these movies and it's like, why don't you just turn on the lights? Because you can see shadows in the corner. Well, turn on the lights. They did. So, yes, they weren't stupid the whole way through. They started questioning things when they should have been questioning things. And they did stuff. They left the house as soon as it got bad, which they never do. And I like that. I like the fact that they were not idiots.
Yeah, because in a lot of movies, the characters will do the opposite of what we feel like they should do. So it was nice that they made it feel a bit more real by doing the things that, like, put on a light, you know, get out of the house. They pretty much leave the house after the first big incident.
Yes.
They don't wait for it to get worse and worse. What else I really enjoyed was the fact that the movie was pretty creepy. I don't know if it was as creepy as the first movie at times, but it definitely had that creepy feel that made your hair stand up.
And it touches on a lot of aspects of faith as well, especially with Lorraine. I mean, she's seen a nun. I know in the original script it was supposed to be a demon, and I think they even did some scenes where it was a demon with horns and everything. And then they changed it to a nun also to try and push this thing of faith. And throughout it, they do a pretty good job at it. She questions herself, she questions why they're doing this. Ed has the faith throughout. Like, he's 100% we're doing this for a reason, we're good. But
whether or not I die doesn't matter.
Yeah. And even have the faith that they're investigating something that's real, and faith in the kids that are saying this is actually happening. Because for much of the movie, they don't actually see anything particularly paranormal up until the very end. Up until the end, it could be the kids messing about. It could be a hoax. It could be
mental illness.
Yeah. So they have the faith to follow on, and yeah, it's a good exploration of that.
At the end, and I know they did this in the first movie also, they show the original photos with some scenes that they did in the movie, and I thought they did such a good job in capturing the essence of the original cases, and it kind of made it a bit creepier and eerier for me because I'm like, oh, okay, look, the comparisons are so close, maybe more of the movie is true.
Yes. That type of intertwining reality and storytelling, it really immerses you a bit more, even if it's right at the end of the movie, because it makes you question things you've just seen, and that's cool, that's fun. And as you'd expect from a good horror movie, there were a lot of jump scares. The ones towards the end of the movie were pretty good, and I suppose this leads us to the bad, because the ones in the beginning of the movie were not great. They were all very predictable, and predictable's fun. It can still make you jump a little bit, even if it's predictable. But it almost felt like a kind old grandfather trying to scare you. So, like, he wants to scare you, but not too much, so he'll hold back a little bit. And yeah, so they didn't work great for me, but at the end they were good.
The major flaw in this movie for me was the first, I think, about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really slow, and it wasn't scary. Like you said, the jump scares didn't particularly stand out to me. And I think this was largely because they didn't have the Warrens in the first 40 minutes, or for most of the first 40 minutes.
Yeah.
As soon as it hit like 42 minutes with Lorraine coming to the focus, it became a lot more interesting and a lot creepier.
Definitely. The movie needs Ed and Lorraine Warren.
And I think they could have easily taken those first 14 minutes and made it 15 minutes and saved us an extra half an hour, because the movie was really long.
It was too long.
It was over 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was necessary.
And then the last thing that I didn't quite like was the Crooked Man. Yeah, I could see how he could be creepy, but he wasn't. He looked artificial in the environment. He didn't look
Real, because he looked like a little bit of a caricature.
very much so. And that can be done in a creepy effect. Like Slenderman pictures and that, with Slenderman in the background, he looks artificial, he looks like he doesn't belong. But that not belonging kind of sticks out and makes it more creepy. This just made it look like it was digitally put in.
Yeah, it didn't feel real at all. And considering how real they try and make the rest of the movie feel, I think it detracted. Because every scene that what character was in, I totally lost my focus in the movie and I wasn't as immersed in it anymore.
And I hear they're making a Crooked Man movie, which hopefully it's done well and it is enjoyable. But if it's the same style as that, I'm not going to enjoy it. It just felt wrong.
Maybe it's because they ran out of budget, so they didn't have enough money to make Crooked Man look better. I don't know. Because that was the one part of the movie that was really low quality, in my opinion.
And if I look at the movie, if they cut out his parts, the movie would still be very creepy, would still be a really good movie. So it's not even necessary to have him in.
Yeah, they could just have kept his shadows, because his shadows was way creepier than actually seeing the Crooked Man.
Yes.
And I think if they left him more to imagination, it would have been a lot more interesting, because I think often our minds can come up with scarier things than what people can. Yes. And I think it's largely because we know what scares ourselves, so our mind can just make it even more creepy.
Overall, the movie is definitely a good build on the first. It's a good, solid sequel. I can see why we're getting a whole universe of them, and it makes me really want to see the third one.
Yeah, and I still need to watch all of the others because I haven't seen Annabelle or The Nun.
Yes.
So we need to catch up. Just in terms of our ratings, I would give it a 7.
I'm going to give it a 7 as well.
So it leaves it with an overall score of 7, which is actually pretty good. Who do I think should watch this? I think anyone who's a fan of the Conjuring universe will enjoy it. People who enjoy scary movies will definitely like it.
And if you're looking for good romance, why not? So let us know in the comments down below if you've seen the movie. What do you think of the Crooked Man?
Bye.
Later.